Alright, so what's up, everybody? Rideshare 757 here, down here in St. Augustine Beach, Florida, just after sunrise. I hope you guys, depending on how I edit the video, you either saw sunrise end of my last video, or you might see, I don't know, whatever, we'll figure it out, but it's beautiful nonetheless. So, that's my buddy down there. He was, I was over there setting up, and he realized he was in my shot earlier, and very nice guy. He was talking about he was up there yesterday, and he can kind of figure out from looking at the water what the fish are doing in some kind of way. But I'm not a fisherman, so I couldn't really explain all that. Some of you guys understand what he's saying, but understand all that. But yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. But anyway, this is by Melissa Lemox, whatever, I don't know, it sounds French to me, whatever their last name, but from Newsweek. I'll leave a link in the description as we walk towards the pier here in St. Augustine Beach, here in St. Augustine, Florida. Beautiful place. So there was this happened in Canada, by the way. To not make it too long, there was an Uber driver in Canada whom was driving like a bat out of hell, basically. Now, when he was on, according to, based on what I read, basically when he was on the interstate, he was going a bit fast. Me personally, I told you guys before on my channel that, the police can pull you over for 1 mile over. They really can, but most don't, because they understand people are people and whatever. And if you're doing 5 over on the interstate, most of the time the cops are going to, leave you alone, except for certain places like up and down US 13, for example. There's places there you better do 2 under. But this happened up north. Our friends up in Canada, a lady got into the Uber vehicle, and allegedly the driver got on the interstate going a bit fast, but it didn't really startle the woman. What startled the woman was when the rideshare driver did the following. So what startled her was when the rideshare driver got near her drop-off, her destination. The driver was in a residential area, and of course in Canada, you guys up there up north, across the border, you guys are in kilometers. Of course, down here we're in miles per hour. But basically, the speed limit, I think, if I read it correctly, was about 25 miles per hour for US anyway. And the person driving was doing approximately 40 miles per hour in the residential, which, you're doing, 25 and you're doing 40, yeah, the cops definitely should pull you over for that, in a residential especially. And the other thing was that the driver allegedly, and keep in mind this is all alleged by the way, until investigation's done, the police do whatever they gotta do. So, but then the driver proceeded to blow through 3 stop signs, just like they weren't even there. He was like, whatever. And the lady was so terrified that she contacted, I believe it was her brother, who met her at the drop-off point. And at that time, she expressed her concerns to the driver because she really didn't feel comfortable or safe expressing her concerns about the driver's behavior. So she waited until she was with her brother before she did that, which was probably a smart move, because based on what I read, the gentleman appeared that he might have been a little mentally unstable beyond the norm. I think we're all a little bit. I think if you're over 25 years old, you're a little bit mentally unstable, but he was definitely way mentally unstable, in my opinion. But there's more to the story that gets even crazier. So the craziest part to me about this whole thing is the lady reported the thing to Uber, Uber ended up basically deactivating the driver, which was good, but Uber initially, based on what I read, only gave that woman $5 Canadian, which I guess, I don't know, I think the article was saying it's like $3 and some change or something, equivalent in US, whatever, which is an insult, because if the alleged incident happened, and if the alleged driver did it, you know, they should go ahead and just give her money. And I would, you know, I'm just saying, even though we don't know for sure if the driver did it, I'm using the words alleged for most of the reasons. Their first thing should have been to just not only refund all the lady's money, which they did eventually, but, you know, really compensate that lady in some way, not give her just $5, you know, because this lady's life was allegedly in danger. And, you know what I mean, for you, you know, for a company to treat that in such a way is kind of a slap in the face. Now, I'm going to say this too, because this is the real world, and people are, you know, unfortunately, some people are less scrupulous than others. So, you know, I understand to a degree that you can't give every, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry, you know, $100 or $200 or something like that, whatever, because people will be calling in faking stuff, which happens all the time. Because, I mean, hell, we as drivers, we get false reports all the time. What, about 2 years ago? You guys might remember, about 2 years ago, I got a false report. Uber deactivated me for 3 days during their BS investigation. Found out it was nothing was up, and as I mentioned before, I think it's because of my association with some powerful people, that they might have been afraid I might have gone to those powerful people and said, hey, you know, and causing them trouble in Virginia, for example. But I didn't do that, even though I probably could have. But Uber in that situation, they did give me a $100 courtesy payment. You know, and of course there was an issue with the driver that was falsely accused. I talked about not long ago, whom ended up suing the passenger that gave the false report. You know, so I understand that you know, they can't do X, Y, Z with everybody that says something happened, because they make sure it actually happened. But in this case, to just right off the bat, just offer the lady, you know, the equivalent of $3 and some change, based on what I was reading, as I recall it, was a slap in the face. I mean, this lady's life was potentially, you know, allegedly in danger, and I think that Uber, Lyft, and the other companies, they really need to take the drivers' lives way more seriously, but also the passengers' lives way more seriously too. And they need to really step their game up, because there's so much more they could do so easily, but they unfortunately refuse to do those things. And while these incidents, on the grand scale of things, are few and far between, because it's only a small percentage of passengers that are misbehaving, and only a small percentage of drivers that are actually misbehaving. But nonetheless, when these things happen, these companies really need to take the driver's safety and the passenger's safety in this alleged situation way more seriously than they currently are. Thanks for listening from St. Augustine Beach here in St. Augustine Beach, Florida, Rideshare 757. I hope you guys enjoy my videos. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Be safe out there, passengers and drivers, and as always, drive safely and with skill. See ya.